Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Madam Secretary, good afternoon. I have two issues that I want to briefly discuss with you. The first has to do with labor job classification, and the second being workers' compensation. I understand that Labor and Industry, the department, is working on updating and clearer job description, job classifications for laborers. Can you tell the committee where that is at? If there are issues that require enabling legislation, can you let us know that as well? Do you believe that you have the authority under existing law or statute to update job classifications?
We believe, the authority to have the classification, the definition updated just within labor and industry without enabling legislation. On the laborers definition, we've been meeting with the laborers, working through a definition. There are essentially three definitions in Pennsylvania: West, Central, East. The East definition was the least clarifying. It is a slow process. We have touched base with a number of the other trades as well with respect to that definition, and we're still working through the process.
Okay, so you don't have at this point sort of an expected completion date or launch for this initiative? Okay, thank you. I'd like to follow up with workers' compensation. We've had a lot of conversation today about the great work that's been done reforming our unemployment compensation system. Is there any work being done in the department now to update or reform a workers' compensation system? And if so, can you update the committee on that process? Any recommendations you may make to the legislature for legislation?
We've met actually last year with both subcommittees of Labor and Industry, House and Senate, with respect to some provisions for the UEGF, Uninsured Employers Guaranteed Trust Fund. We had that one piece of legislation that transferred $4 million. We have funding in that trust fund now, probably to last, short of a catastrophic event, for another year. We have legislation that's been drafted around the UEGF to make it more solvent, to make the system fair, but more equitable. We've also looked into trying to look at the medical cost associated with workers' comp. UEGF is more finite group. Workers' comp as a whole, premiums are down, but health payments of health care benefits, the cost of those are not. We're looking at possibly legislation to deal with those high costs, but we're approaching it in the same way that we approached the UC proposal. We're reaching out to every stakeholder. We're getting input. We're getting the pros and cons, how this would affect this group, how it would affect that group, and we're not at completed draft legislation yet. We're still getting input from everyone to come up with the best package possible.
Thank you, Madam Secretary. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.